What's up, everybody? It's your girl Q1, and I am back. Ooh wee! I am back with another episode of BMF, season 4, episode 7, Enemy Within. Before I start, y'all make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Click the notification bell button so you can be updated on every video I drop. Also, y'all, make sure we are liking the videos so I can stay in the algorithm. Okay. Lastly, I appreciate it. Like, y'all, I really needed some rest yesterday. I was going to give y'all BMF yesterday and a live of Love and Marriage Huntsville. I don't know if I'm not sure if I want to give a pre-recorded, but if I do go live, it'll probably be at 11 or right after I finish this. I'm still learning the kinks and all of the things. So yeah, y'all bear with me, okay? It is really gonna be an impromptu live for Love and Marriage Huntsville. Y'all, I tell y'all, Friday a time was really had. And I feel like I'm just now getting to a good place. Yeah. Anyway, here we go. All right, y'all. We back in Mexico with Terry, Meech, and Loco, of course. And Meech, at this point, is pissed off because Terry let the little boy go because y'all know the little boy worked for the federales, right? So we hear sirens, right? Look out the window. The federales are coming because, of course, that's what they told him what happened. But Terry he don't listen, and I'm not sure if that'll be his downfall, but I don't know. So Loco came out, gave them guns so they can kind of bust at the federales. All right, I'm sure they'll be successful because hey, we see them in current time. Anyway, we get to current time, y'all. Terry is stress eating this apple pie or whatever kind of pie it was. Apparently he have eyes still on Markeisha just in case Boone returned back to the house. Apparently they changed the locks and they still don't have no product. Nothing's coming in. So now he has to take the money that LaWanda is holding for him and he's going to take some of it so he can flip it, I guess, so he can issue it out to his crew because nothing is coming in. They're not eating. And I don't know if it's Hook. I forget the heavyset one. He told Terry, listen, maybe we need to go talk to Meech. Well, Terry is always in his feelings when it comes to Meech, as Meech is too. And so he was like, no, we ain't talking. It's just like, okay, this is why y'all are where y'all are. It makes zero sense. Like, it makes zero sense to me. But, Meech want to be the HBIC. All right? And then he want Terry to follow suit, but that's not how they go. But let me say this, in a sense, because technically Terry wasn't even supposed to be in that world. You just hopped in a car with your brother. So you kind of in that world, like it just wasn't you. I wish he would have stayed on a straight and narrow, but whatever. So I'm sorry, y'all. Next, hold on. So okay, there is a few. They still have the Moors out there. And at this point, they want revenge on Jay Pusha. And meanwhile, Jay Pusha wants Meech alive or unalive at this point. I've been saying he wasn't to be trusted. Like, that was my whole take of him. He was never to be trusted, y'all. I just did not like him as soon as I saw him, like on sight, it was like, Anyway, so in the next scene, we back at the Flannery house, right? Nicole walks in the kitchen to find Raw Dog trying to slice bread for the toast. Um, and she was like, "What are you doing?" And he's still having a hard time because of his hand, right? And so she was like, "Oh no, let me do this for you." And so Pastor walks in the kitchen. She looks like she still have an attitude, and I'm just like, y'all, this lady working on my nerves. And so Nicole tells both Raw Dog and Pastor that she's decided to defer her scholarship until she have the baby. Pastor was like, "Lord, thank you." Raw Dog was like, "Why? Why would you do that?" Right? And so Raw Dog was like, "I hope you're not doing it because of what I have going on." And Nicole was like, "No, I talked to LaWanda and it was very overwhelming about LaWanda's take on parenthood." And I'm going to pause here because I'm with Raw Dog. Like, so I was the same age. I was pregnant with my son, right? And I was in college. I was going to JC. So, I was pregnant. And I went to school and I worked and I did all of the things. So I don't see why Nicole can't go to a local JC. I know she can't go to Morris Brown. I get that. And also to listen to LaWanda can only give from her POV. Like, I just don't like that. Like, you couldn't do this and you couldn't do that. Why? I don't know. But it shouldn't be the same thing for Nicole. It shouldn't be the same thing for Nicole. I'm just saying, like, Nicole do not have to go to school. She may have to go to junior college, until the baby, well, she just may have to go to junior college and move it over to a 4-year university, however, they doing however they was doing in Detroit. But I'm just saying, if we was in that time, I didn't do that. So I was in agreement with Charles, because why would you do that? Now I get Morris Brown, but to go to a junior college, you could absolutely be pregnant and go to a junior college unless you feel like you're not gonna do it. But to listen to LaWanda, yes, it is overwhelming. But at the same time, you have family. Your brothers have money. I'm sure they can help and assist and pay for this, that, and the third. And let's not forget, Wanda got pregnant by a drug dealer. So the money was there. So it just felt like her choice wasn't, for not going back to school was her choice. But don't put that on Nikki plate. Like, I ain't like that. And while we talking about this, because don't think I ain't forget production. First of all, we was gone last week. Why is Nicole big pregnant? Production, do better. Where did we flash forward to? Are we 3 months ahead, or is she 6 months? And then the fact that Nicole is big pregnant, why we ain't see no improvement on my boy Raw Dog hand? Like, why we ain't find him no job? Why he not in no, what they call it, hand rehab? Okay, why isn't there any improvement on Raw Dog hand? I'm trying, y'all help me make that make sense to me. Okay, maybe I shouldn't be pointing, but make it make sense to me, your girl, because I got questions. This is so ass backwards, y'all. It's so ass backwards. Like, y'all ain't come on last week. We get this week without no date. But Raw Dog hand is still the same, just like it happened last week or the week before last. But Nicole, big pregnant. Production, y'all really got some explaining to do. Okay? So Again, as I stated, Raw Dog thinks that Nicole is making a mistake. And Pastor, of course, was like, the mistake was having unprotected mix. Ma'am, they did it. You can't change it. It is what it is. Okay? She is really, she irritates me, y'all. So, for me, I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of insensitive. All right, I'm sorry, but Nicole go into her room. Now, let me tell y'all this: when I was pregnant, not one time did I go lock myself in the room and cry. I laid down and had that baby, okay, and that was that. I had a man warming up and take care of my baby, okay, my babies. Oh Lord. And thank you, Jesus. Listen, they are of age, okay? I've been waiting for that day all my life, okay? Since they came out, I've been wanting them to be older. Now they just get on my nerves a little bit, all right? But I'm going to stick beside them. So anyway, Nicole go in her room crying. And for me, I'm looking at her, girl, why the f*** is you crying? Because just 3 episodes ago, you was grown. I'm grown. I'm 18. Also, I'm going to say this. She probably wasn't crying because of the baby, because it's months. It's been months now. She's probably crying because she have to give up her scholarship. And for that, I feel bad for her. I also want to say this. I think that we should have seen something where if she decided she wanted to keep her baby or not. I felt like we could have had that conversation. Like, did they, and when I say they, I mean Lucille made her keep this baby. Did she not want to have the baby and everybody else convinced her as some sort of, as a way, because I feel like when you tell them, before it was our body, our choice, before they removed the, chop shop laws, right? Sometimes I felt like most parents who have, make guilt their young people into keeping the baby as a way of punishment. And you make them feel bad for having a baby. They did what they did. And at some point, you got to get past it. You got to get past it. Like, this was their doing. So I wanted to see that part. Like, was that, I wish production would have put that in there, like those type of conversations about not keeping it and allowing her to fulfill her duties, and just continue on as a student. Or was it that you wouldn't, you wish those conversations would have been had, like, well, you need to keep it as a way to punish her and let her know this what happens when you go out and sleep around with no I just wish that some of those things were more talked about. That's all I'm saying. I am always pro your body, your choice. Okay? I'm sorry. People may not agree with me, and that is okay. That is A-okay. But you do what you want with your body. Nobody get the right to tell you what you can and cannot do. I don't know. I feel like, having a baby is a lot of responsibility. Having a baby does take away parts of your freedom, because now, instead of moving on your own time in your own schedule, you have to now move on your kid's schedule. Like, the life, you can make it about you, but ultimately you have to work on your kids. You have to work on your kids' schedule. And some people have to do that, and then some people, while they're doing that, they have no support system, like no real good support system. Because on one hand, you cannot trust people nowadays. And I'm not saying everything was different then, because you definitely couldn't trust people then. It was just real quiet about what they were doing to your kid. But It's hard to trust people now, just based on what we're seeing in today's world. So it is hard to trust people in having a good support system. And now it's like, it's just, I don't know, but I really wish that production or the writers could have like thrown that in there. And I know it's more of a, I ain't gonna say gangster show. I don't know, this drug cartel, whatever, and all of that. But sometimes we should focus on the small parts. And her going to Morris Brown, her getting her education and all of the things, would have been something that we wanted to see. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm all in my eye. So we get over to the church, right? And so the elders are telling pastor that she not putting enough money in the collection plate. All right. They think she's taking on too much of a responsibility. And Lucille was like, listen, despite what's happening in my personal life, I will get it done come hell or high water, come hook or come crook. Okay? I'm going to get it done. Okay? Don't play with me. Play with your mammy. First of all, I didn't know y'all go to the pastor and tell him that. Like, I'm not even, we gonna skate by that whole collection plate and all of that, because y'all know what y'all know what the deal be with all of that. So anyway, Detective Bryant, fat ass, has worked on my entire nerves, and he can just go. It's just he have a hard on for them, and that's it. I get nothing from Detective Bryant. Anyway, and that's another thing. We didn't get Lamar or B Mickey this episode. I need them to. Lamar has to kind of exit stage left because there is no place for Lamar anymore. We need to see him in other roles with his fine self. All right, that's a fine man. Okay, he is fine. All right. So y'all know Purdy is on that cokiana, right? And she said basically getting shot has messed her up in her head. But Purdy, hold on, sis, you've been on that stuff well before. So it wasn't you getting shot. It was you've been messed up since you had those adoptive parents or foster parents, and then you met Trail. Like, you've been messed up. All of these people played a role, and all of these people failed you. I'm going to hold you. The only person that really stuck in and did their best was her best friend, Maria, Terry, and Meech. Like, I mean, a lot of people may not like Meech, but he is one of those dudes that got a good, like, he an asshole a little bit, but he got a good heart. Like, sir, in real life, outside of this, why would you go to jail? Like, you got to grow up. Is that little boy still in his 20s or 30s? Okay, because he gotta grow up. All right. So I'm sorry, y'all. Back to the review. So she was pulling out her drugs, and Tina snatched it out of her hand and tell her not to mix this stuff. You can't mix this with your meds. And so Tina was like, listen, I'm hormonal, I'm this, I'm that. And I was like, is she pregnant? And who is she pregnant for? I don't know. Maybe I missed something. Because y'all know Tina had been helping her out in the studio. Right? So LaWanda is over at Terry's house, and, he's giving her money to hold down for him. He thanks her for being a good mom to their kids. And he give her additional money for the baby shower. Like, it was a guap of money. All right, it was a guap of money. Okay. So Markeisha Jezebel ass come stop by Terry's house. LaWanda looked at her. Y'all know. Oh Lord, fool. Where Craig at? Like, that's what that whole scene reminded me. Oh, he in the house. I'm sorry, that's what that little scene reminded me of. So as Markeisha Jezebel last decide to come in, um, Markeisha get her lady, like, I mean, not Markeisha, Lawanda is classy babes. She did the ladylike thing, and she first. Okay, let's push pause. I follow Lawanda on IG, and when I tell y'all Lawanda is that girl, Lawanda is that girl to me. I don't know why. She is gorgeous. That's all I wanted to say. Shout out to Lawanda, because I don't know her. I forgot her real name, but I follow her. All right. Shout out to Lawanda. All right. So she comes to try to make everything right. Y'all know she got to use her coochie to make everything right. And Terry cockeyed ass always fall for the okie doke. Like, Lawanda would be the reason that he would go down. And I mean, down to the slammer, down 6 feet under, and she gonna be sold to the highest bidder. All right. It is what it is. So Estelle, I want to say they were on the phone or in person. I don't know. Estelle asked Pastor if she think Nicole stayed home because of raw. Oh no, they was in person because of Raw Dog, and she said, yeah, she do. Pastor said, I'm relieved though, because y'all know, she told Estelle that, she have a lot of things on her plate with being a pastor and, Raw Dog living with them, yada yada yada, all of the things. Like, she was saying she got a lot of stuff on her plate. So then she tell Estelle that she made another appointment at the welfare office, right? So Estelle said, listen, don't go to that lady again. Go to a male caseworker. Use your womanly wiles to get on assistance. All right? And so she was like, flirt with him a little bit. Give him a little shoulder. Okay? So Estelle asked her, listen, when was the last time I made you say, oh? I'm sorry, y'all. Shout out to Mariana. Listen, she wants to know, she asked Lucille, when was the last time you got your big... And, of course, y'all know she didn't get her back blown out until she slept with that doctor. And that doctor hit them guts, clapped them cheeks, and he bounced. Okay? So she was like, that's none of your business. Pastor, please get out of our face with this. And so Estelle said, listen, I got a Bob. Okay? And so Lucille was like, what's that? She was like, I got a battery operated boyfriend. And she said he's slim, single, and he don't talk back. I know that's right, Estelle. Okay? Let me tell y'all this. If y'all did not know, Bob is a song by Raheem Devon. That is probably one of my favorite songs. All right? I'm not going to sing it, okay? Because y'all know my voice don't ever voice because I can't sing. But shout out to him, okay? That's the song they should have been playing in the background. Anyway, we get to the next scene with Kia. And just to kind of sum it up, Kia wants to unalive Jay Pusher for unalive. I mean, well, I actually thought that her sister was unalive. Y'all know her sister was married to one of the Moors, and so she was still in a hospital. So she survived. Because he got her right here, either this side or this side. But I ain't gonna lie, I thought that lady was gone. And Jay Pusher is really just on his rocker, and he just need to be put down at this point. Like, I don't know who was worse, him or Lamar, but they both need to be put down. Anyway, so Pastor, we over at the welfare office, right? Pastor walked in with this leathery little, I don't know if it was an all-into-one bodysuit. It looked good. Baby, when I tell y'all Pastor wore that thing, okay, she looked really good. She walked in Now, I don't know the actor's name. I forgot his name, but he was one of the case managers over at the office. And she sat by him. I mean, she flirted her behind off, okay? Baby, when I tell you he approved, stamped and approved, okay? Lucille, he is cute. Give that man your number, girl. All right? He gonna be like a pastor. Anyway, Terry is cutting Raw Dog's hair, and they have a lighthearted conversation. He said, so we find out Raw Dog is beginning to feel better. And I do have another insensitive question, y'all. I'm so sorry. But the way when Terry was lining his hair, I was like, Terry, I don't know. I was just, my thoughts about Terry trying to line up Raw Dog. But I'm sorry, y'all. Please don't be hard on me. I just always think stuff that people don't say. And so Terry offered for Raw Dog to help them with their record label, and he said no, he needs something more sustainable. And then Raw Dog also tells us that with everything that has happened to him, he's now beginning to see the beauty of life, right? And I thought the conversation was good. And then we'll see later on that he'll change his mind. So, yeah. So now we at the baby shower, y'all. So Pastor Lou come downstairs in this cute little ensemble, y'all. She was eating them up, all right? And so Estelle was like, Lucille, you look like a bajillion bucks. I said, girl, Estelle, baby, when I tell y'all, sis is ghetto AF, but it is what it is. Anyway, they're asking, so what's his name? Her baby daddy. Well, if that's her baby daddy, the little boy that's at Morris Brown, his mom was talking to them. And so he was like, you're not quitting school. He was like, no, he's going to take a semester from Morris Brown and go to a JC college for a while. And so now the people are asking names. What do they want, a girl? Boy, it was like a lot of questions that Nicole just seemed overwhelmed by. So apparently she wants to name the baby Demetrius. And the way her baby daddy looked at her like, oh, hell no, you not. And so y'all know Terry was pissed off. He was like, well, why can't you name him Terry? And LaWanda was like, Terry, you already have a Terry Jr. When I tell y'all, my girl LaWanda nerves be so bad, those people be pissing my girl off, okay? I like LaWanda. And then Raw Dog came downstairs and he was like, listen, Raw Dog is a cool name. He didn't say Raw Dog, he said Charles. And he was like, listen, Charles is a cool name. We know. But she said she didn't name him after Demetrius because of her brother. She's naming him that because she liked the name. And I'm like, girl, please. So over at the studio, Tina walks into the studio because, she have a session with Purdy. She looking for Purdy, and Purdy OD'd on her drugs because y'all know she's still mixing meds and drugs. And so Tina had her checked in to she called the police. So then we find out Tina had checked her into a rehab. So the next scene, we go back to the baby shower. When I tell y'all Markeisha funky ass, Jezebel ass, whole ass came over there with a gift. Girl, when I tell you I would have beat the piss out of Markeisha, because why are you here? Ho, why is you here? Ho, why is you here? Shout out to Jocelyn. Hey, maid. I see you in your maid outfit. So, Markeisha comes to Nicole's baby shower unannounced. And Nicole thanks her, listen, I thank you for the gift, but this is a family event. This said, me and Terry are family. No, ho, you married. Let's get that understood. You married. Okay? And you ain't getting no divorce no time soon. Because you was a raggedy ass bottom bitch. Okay? Y'all, I do not like Markeisha. I do not. I do not. Nicole was like, listen, this is my guest list and I'm family. And so Terry was like, no, you gotta go and, let her out. I was just like, girl, you know better. Like, your stupid ass knew better, but you went over there for shock value. I feel like she went over there for shock value. Like, you'll never be where Lawanda is. Never. Never. Anyway, Raw Dog, he lightened the mood. Now, let me say this. Raw Dog was the one who opened the door. And when he saw Markeisha, the first thing he said was, all hell. So then Raw Dog played a cassette that he gave Nicole. I think that was the first music he ever worked on. And he played the cassette and everybody started dancing. Baby, when I tell y'all Raw Dog had a time, like, I was like, okay. I wasn't mad at that, right? So, in the next scene, what's her name? Keisha Pam? What's her name, y'all? What's her name? Kia. I had to go look back. Kia went to go look for her cousin Pusha so she can unalive him. And she pulled the gun out, was about to unalive him. Then he talked her out of it, grabbed, and, tried to play nice. But when she came up close to him, he smacked the piss out of her. And he was about to unalive her. And Carter ended up unaliving Jay Pusha. Because y'all know Carter, ever since everything happened with Carter and he lost his scholarship, he couldn't play ball no more, he been having it in for his brother. And so he unalived his brother. And he was like, I want me and you to be free from him. And as long as Pusha was alive, they didn't feel the level of freedom. And I was here for that. So for that reason alone, Carter is the MVP in my book. Okay? So, Detective Brian got the warrant, right? To go search your boy house where he said lived with his grandmother or whatever. Anyway, so Pastor is cleaning and she get a card from Estelle with a gift in it. And the gift was the big massager. It's a massager from Brookstone. And listen, I did not know that they made buzzies like that. Like, what are you supposed to do with the big round thing? Like, it looked like a big massager. It really looked like a massager. And I'm looking at it like, that's a big old vibrator. Okay? She covered it up. Charles was coming downstairs. And wait, before Charles came downstairs, she looked at the wad of money that Terry had for Nicole. He gave her a wad of money. Like, I don't know how much it was, but he gave it to her. And so she had it in her hand and she put it in a bag. And she heard Charles coming. She hurried up and wrapped it up. And so Raw Dog let her know, hey, listen, I'm going to head to ATL to help Terry and Meech with music. And I feel like that was best for Raw Dog, if you ask me. And another thing, let's talk about her finding that money. Because I'm going to be pissed off if Pastor take that money and she steal it. Like, you don't have that to do. You want to keep off you have two sons that are drug dealers. Let's start there. And at the end of the day, the church don't give a damn where the money come from as long as they get their money. The only reason they say stuff is because they don't have that kind of money or somebody they know with money like that. That's all I'm saying. So it would be beneficial if you went to Terry and Meech and asked them for money and asked them to help you out. You're making your life harder than what it is. But you don't want to be looked at as the pastor who's taking drug money from from her sons from the congregation, because I'm willing to believe if it was one of them and they were in a tight spot, guess what they'll do? Take that same money, because it all spend the same. I don't want that drug money. I do. Oh, child. So Terry and stinking ass Markeisha is at the at that crap game that she was invited to. And shout out to now the woman who hosted the game. Wasn't that Farnsworth Bentley wife? I forgot her name. I forgot. Fawn. I think that was her name. I don't know. Let me check. I think it's Fawn. Yeah, Fawn Watkins. I was like, okay, she was the lady who hosts the the gambling games for the high rollers. And so he take a call, right? And this is what pissed me off about Terry, because Terry do stupid stuff. Like, Terry don't think, right? So as he's losing all his money, he leaves the table, get a call, and he talked to Nicole. He was like, Nicole, I need you to do a favor for me. I need you to go to LaWanda house, ask her to get the money, told her how to get on a plane, like what to do with the money and to bring them money, because him and Meech are in a bind. So not only did you put your pregnant sister in danger, but you lied on Meech. Like, I don't understand. So anyway, in the next scene, baby Lucille get home. She locked that door. She turned off them lights. Charles knocked on that door. Boom, boom, boom. She was like, oh, she jumped fast. She was like, yeah. He was like, good night, Lucille, baby. She said good night, baby. She went under them covers. And that's all I'ma say. Anyway, Meech comes. Tina lets him know that Purdy OD'd. He called for help, and now he checked Purdy in she checked Purdy in a rehab place. So then she tells Meech that she's pregnant and like she don't want to have the baby because I still want to be on your team. And she was like, Meech, I don't have nobody. I need somebody to take me to the baby chop shop, right? And they head over to the baby chop shop. It's a bunch of protesters outside, like literally mad at people because they want to make a choice for their bodies. Like, I found that so stupid. I'm sorry, y'all. I found that so problematic. And at first, when you're young, sometimes you don't think things like that are problematic, but they really are. And it's to the point now we are here in 2025 and we have no choices over our own bodies because of people like that. Anyway, he goes with her, and so I think she's having that procedure done, and I think he even fronted her the money for it. Y'all, when I tell y'all, Meech have such a heart of gold. Like, he just have such a heart of gold. I'm talking about on the show, as the character. Anyway, Nicole makes it to Meech's house or whatever, and so we find out let me Nicole is running money. Y'all know she taking the money over to Meech and Terry. She faked the pain so she wouldn't get caught or whatever. So Meech walks into his house to find Terry and hoe-ass Markeisha, and he's pissed off. First of all, he don't even like Markeisha. Markeisha don't like him for whatever reason. And then Nicole knocks on the door, and Nicole was like, here, I'm just trying to get y'all out of the bind. She tell Meech what happened. Meech is pissed at this point. Terry picks up the money, and so him and Meech get into it. He was like, you have our pregnant baby sister out there risking her life to bring you money because you losing it gambling. And so he got mad. Like, how are you offended? How are you offended by this? And so she was like, Nicole was like, listen, this not what family's supposed to do. Markeisha whole ass started to laugh. Like, girl, can somebody shoot her? Like, I don't like her. And it is apparent that they're not on the same page. They're not. Meanwhile, Loco is in the background sipping tea, laughing like this some ghetto raggedy ass shit, right? And so Terry was like, told Nicole, enjoy the money that I gave you for the baby shower. And she was like, what money? And he just walked out the door. So the next morning, Meech and Nikki have a heartfelt, she tell him, she wanted to name the baby Demetrius. And Demetrius is like, listen, I appreciate that, but eventually one day I want to have a son, and when I do, I would like to name him Demetrius Jr. So I would like that you will find a name to name your baby, right? And I thought it was cool. And I think what irritated me the most is when she told him, although you have put me in many tough spots, I still want to be able, I think she said she want to be able to name the baby after him. I don't know. But the fact that it wasn't just, I can't even just get mad at Terry. Nicole went to jail for the stolen car that Meech bought her. Like, y'all two have put that girl in some sticky situations for her to just be 18 or 19. I would with y'all no more. I'm sorry. Like, it is nothing y'all can tell me. And then y'all, the other one want to get mad because she was pregnant. I'm sorry, y'all. This is just insane. So Terry head over to Tank's house to get his money. Y'all know Tank was the NFL, played for the 49ers. I guess he was one of the high rollers at the stakes game. And so then Meech head over to the rehab to go see Miss Purdy, and her stupid ass done checked herself out. Y'all, I don't know. Miss Purdy is a dummy. Like, if I ain't never seen it, baby, Miss Purdy is a whole dummy out here. Anyway, I will give y'all Love and Marriage Huntsville. I'm so nervous to go live. God. But all right. So let me say this. I'm going live tonight with somebody else. But I'm gonna do this pre-recorded for Love and Marriage Huntsville. And then I'm gonna push the live. I'm alive next weekend. I promise. I'm sorry, y'all. Ugh. But yeah. Because I still have some other things I do need to do. So forgive me. I love y'all. Charge it to my head and not my heart. Yeah, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.